America is quite a turbulent place at the moment. I'm very heartened by Bolivia, I'm very heartened by Venezuela, because they're saying to the Americans, it's our continent, it's our country, we will develop our resources. And don't forget, Bolivia was the first country to talk about ecocide, to talk about the rights of nature. You know, and they had a conference there a few years ago where the president, people came from all over the world. In Gaviotas, what they did was a very simple thing. They had, it's called a llanos, is the area in there, and it's very dry. What they found was it was completely destroyed by the farming system. The species were dying out. At Gaviotas, what they did, they said, right, what we're going to do is create our own little industry. So they planted 1.6 million Caribbean pine. And what they do is they make the resin out of the pine. So that's their income. They have an income, a solid basis, and they specialise in that. And it won the 1997 United Nations World Zero Emissions Award. What they've done also is developed a lot of technology, like their own type of wind generators, which are found throughout South America. They developed them because it was actually formed by agronomists and engineers who had this vision, again, a shared vision. We're going to set up this community in Colombia, and you think of Colombia as cocaine, terrorism, drugs, whatever, you know, a violent place. But this actually is there, and I hope actually to visit it because I'm so fascinated by it. So we come down to Crystal Waters, which is not on there, but I included it because in Australia it's a very old community, 240 members, 640 acres, and Mollison, the Australians, invented permaculture. It was developed in Australia. So they have a lot of income from permaculture training. They have a school there where they teach people. They also have gardening, supplies, forestry, builders, caterers, craftspeople, and produce books. So that's the economic basis of it. They're economically viable, these places, very often, you know. But they have to reach out into the economy that stands. What I want to look about is spirituality. I want to look at two things. I want to look at the two basic value systems that operate. Spirituality, or spiritual basis for communities, and a socialist basis. So we've seen two examples of that. I'm going to go into Damanhur a bit. 1975, founded around Alberto Araldi. It's funny that people inspire things. Like Findhorn was the same. It was Eileen Caddy in Findhorn in the 1962 that inspired Findhorn. One person had a vision, and it was around this spiritual leader who was again wanted a new society based on practical application of spiritual values. And their whole community is based on a form of spirituality where they go through, it's quite esoteric really, based on pagan myths, based on quite the old religion of Europe before Christianity. And they've developed there these fantastic caves where people go and meditate, and the different themes of caves. They're huge. If you ever get to see it, it's an amazing place, all painted by hand. They institute things like the Game of Life, where people can take courses in spirituality to develop their spirituality. And as you know from Damanhur, there's a sound economic system, but the basis of it is to produce a society where we can explore spiritual values. In Auroville, again, this was another, inspired by Sri Aurobindo. It's an eclectic spiritual culture. Unlike Damanhur, which is more old European religion, they have religious sources from anything. But the founding of it was based on one must be willing to serve the divine consciousness. Because I don't know whether you know about Sri Aurobindo. He was really quite a famous yogi in India. He wrote a lot of stuff, well known. So it's a place where we can Auroville can be a site of material and spiritual researches for the living embodiment of the actual human unity. Remember, when it was founded, there was 35 different nationalities in it, and it's very, very cosmopolitan. So that's definitely got a spiritual basis. And Findhorn again was started by Eileen Caddy, who's a visionary, you know, psychic. She had this vision of this caravan site. Have you ever been there? It's only 30 acres. It was started on a caravan site. They lived in caravans for years. And Eileen Caddy just brought all this, again, a sort of eclectic spirituality. But in Findhorn, if you go there, there's 9,000 people going on courses each year. They've got a fantastic, beautiful place. I must admit, I was rather amused when I went down in the 75 to meet this amazing looking guy from the States. Got these beautiful blue eyes. And he talked about the divas, man. It's the divas. Because what they found was that there was something really weird. It's right north up in Scotland, that they could grow vegetables and plants that would grow nowhere else. And he said it was these divas of spiritual creatures that helped them. I thought he was off his trolley. But actually it was a really nice place because it had a central hall where people met for attunement. And they do attune a lot there before they do anything. So they make money and their economy out of doing courses, but it's very spiritual, but more of an eclectic. And I just want to show you this one that's not on there. It's a Sirius community in USA, which is an offshoot of Findhorn, founded in 1978. Now here we've got a small place, 20 members on 90 acres, but they follow the same as Findhorn. They've outreached. So sometimes you get an eco-village that has a sort of offshoot that goes out to do something similar on a smaller scale. They see, we're committed to living our lives with spiritual integrity, recognizing that we're all in a process of growth and every experience in our life offering valuable lessons. We honor the highest truths common to all religions, and the unity and diversity is a source of inspiration for visitors and members. Meditation and attunement are central. They're central to all that they do. So they all attune. I don't know if you've ever been to the Green Party conference. I'm a Green Party member. We have attunement there before we do debates. It's really great. It's very unique because people chill out. They might be at each other's throats, but they're actually tuned. And that's a really good thing to get into. So, the social